everybody, and welcome to Story Time with Zayda. I hope you're looking forward to this story because I am. It's a very exciting one, a lovely adventure. But before I tell you too much about it, shall we just see what's inside Zayda's dashik? And that might give us a bit of a clue about what's going on today. Oh look, here it is. It's been there all night. And let's see what's underneath. Look at that. It's a fishing rod with a fish on it. Now I wonder what our story is going to be about. Shall we see? Shall we? Okay, dashik on. Fasten your seatbelts. Get ready. Are you sitting comfortably? You are? Good. Then I'll begin. This story is called King of the Fish. And it's all about a lovely fish kingdom in the ocean. It started not so long ago, but as you can see, all of the fish in Fish Kingdom were so happy and got on so well with each other. The whales got on with the stingrays got on with the dolphins got on very well with all of the tiny fish at the bottom, including the starfish. It was such a happy kingdom. Now the kingdom was ruled by a very grand but very kind king. And here he is, the king of the fish himself. You can know that he is the king of the fish because he's wearing a crown. And that's where our story begins. It happened in Fish Ocean. All the fish were very excited and every day had so much to do and so much to play with. Sometimes they would swim down to the bottom of the ocean, not too far and not too deep, but just enough so they could see shipwrecks and treasures. And there you can see treasure chests and money and gold coins and anchors, and they would sometimes find food at the bottom of the ocean and toys to play with. They were so happy. But do you know what game they liked most of all? Well, there was a special stingray. They called him Sting. And every so often he would take a school of fish right on his back and go gliding all the way down to the bottom of the ocean and give them rides on his back. They loved that part of it. Now, one day, a little angelfish that lived in a faraway ocean thought it would be a good idea to swim away from home. Now, children, that was a bad mistake. Never go away too far from home. Stay close at home. But this angelfish wanted to explore, and so she started swimming out. And eventually a huge current of water pulled her down and pulled her away from her home all the way to the Fish Kingdom. And as you can see, it pulled her all the way to the bottom of the ocean. When she saw where she was and that there was nobody around, she started crying. Oh, I don't know where I am. I'm lost. Boo-hoo. And nobody's around to help me. Well, luckily, in the Fish Kingdom, there was a very large, giant turtle from Spain called Fernandez. And as he heard Angel crying, he came swooping down to see what was going on. Hello there. What are you doing? Oh, she said. I think you're going to hurt me. You're so big. No, I'm not, said Fernandez, the giant sea turtle from Spain. My name's Fernandez. What's the matter? She said, I'm lost and I don't know how to get back home. Well, Fernandez, the giant sea turtle from Spain, said, well, don't worry. I've got plenty of room on my back. If you hop on, maybe I can give you a lift home. Oh, thank you so much, said Angel, the angelfish. That's very kind. Tell me something. Are all the fish as kind as you in this kingdom? Ah, said Fernandez, we're all very kind and helpful here. Everybody in Fish Kingdom gets on well, and we all like each other, and we all help each other, and everybody... What's the matter? Said Angelfish. Said Fernandez. Listen. And they both listened, and they heard a formidable sound. What's that? Said Angel. And Fernandez, the giant sea turtle from Spain, said, I think I know what that is. You'd better Scarpa, get out of here, quickly. And Fernandez very, very quickly sank to the bottom of the ocean and swam away. But he left Angelfish all by herself, and she wasn't sure what the fuss was about until she saw, coming in, a very scary sight. Careful, children. Here's a scary bit. There was Shaun the shark with his big teeth. Can you see them? Now, all the fish got on so well, apart from Shaun the shark. Shaun the shark was a terrible fish. In fact, he was a shark with great big teeth, as you can see. And everybody was so terrified of him because he would come in every so often, swoop around, scoop up a few fish and take them back to his cave. Well, today, as he was swimming around, he went like this. That's funny, he said. That's a strange smell. I don't smell smells like that around here too often. What's that? And there he looked down and he saw Angelfish. Lovely, he said to himself. And as Angelfish looked up at him, she said, hello, good morning. Now, again, that was a mistake, children, because she shouldn't speak to strange sharks, should she? Well, Shaun, the nasty shark, looked down and said, hello, 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 little fishy, what have we here? Ah, how delightful. Don't see you around these parts too often, little fishy. Tell me something, what's your name, eh? And Angel looked up at him and said, my name is Angel. That's another mistake. Can you see what she shouldn't have done? First of all, you don't speak to strange sharks or strange anybody. And secondly, you don't tell anybody your name if you don't know them. Well, Shaun the shark was quite cunning and clever. And he said, Angel, that's a nice name. Well now, you look like you're lost and all alone. Angel didn't understand why he was laughing, but we do, don't we? Don't we? So she tried to explain that she's lost and didn't know where she was and wanted to get home. So Shaun the shark had a cunning idea and said, well now, don't you worry about anything, little Angelfish. Tell you what, how would you like to, hop onto one of my fins and come for a ride around Fish Kingdom? Want to come for a ride? Do ya? Angelfish thought that was a very good idea, but we don't, do we, children? Well, Angelfish said, I think that's a lovely idea, but I'd certainly like to go home. And Shaun the shark said, well, we can arrange that, but you know what? Putting on his evil grin, can you see it with his teeth? He said, but why don't you come for a ride with me first? Maybe we can stop off at my cave and have a bit of supper before we take you home. What do you think? Aye? That's very kind, said Angelfish rather innocently. What's for supper? The shark looked at her and said, well now, let's see. He sized up Angelfish, rubbed his fins together and said, well, I got an idea. How about fish and chips? Oh, that's a wonderful idea, said Angel. not realizing that she was on the menu. Ah! Well, as this conversation was going on, Angelfish came closer and closer to Shaun the Shark. All the fish around in Fish Kingdom could see what was going on, and they saw Shaun the Shark giggling to himself. And so suddenly a huge school of fish came floating in quickly to try and warn Angelfish. And then another lot of fish came in, and another school, and yet another. And they all wanted to shout out, "No, no, no, you really mustn't go. No, 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 you really mustn't go." But they were too frightened. They were so frightened nothing would come out of their throats. Do you think you could help me warn Angelfish? Let's chant it together. 1, 2, 3. No, 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 you really mustn't go. No, 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 you really mustn't go. Oh, very, very good. Well, what happens next is very exciting, because the fish didn't know what to do, and they ran away, or rather they swam away because they're fish, and they started saying, "What should we do? What should we do? Let's get King of the Fish." But they all said, "The King of the Fish lives so far away, we can't swim that fast." One of the fish had a great idea. "Call the dolphins, call the dolphins." And with that, they all started saying, "Dolphins, dolphins." And 3 beautiful dolphins came swishing in and came to attention and took their flippers and saluted. "At your service." Now, I don't know how you think dolphins speak, but they speak like this. See if you can do it. Which is dolphin for, "What could we do to help?" And the fish told the 3 dolphins the whole story. And they said, "Please, go quickly, go and get the King of the Fish." "The King of the Fish," they said, putting their flippers on their faces like this and squishing their faces a little bit. "Okay, let's go." And with a quick flip of the flippers, they swam fast as they could through Fish Kingdom and all the way down the ocean until they came to the cave of the King of the Fish. One of the dolphins said, "King, King, King of the Fish, King of the Fish." Another one said, "Help, help us, help us." But the third dolphin said, "Stop, shh. That's not how you address the King of the Fish. You have to address him with reverence, with humility, and with song. We have to sing the King of the Fish anthem." The other 2 dolphins said, "What's the King of the Fish anthem?" And dolphin 1 said, "Listen to me, I'll teach it to you. Now, children, see if you can learn it and we can all call the King of the Fish together." They took their flippers and they saluted. Can you salute? Come on, put your flippers up. And they sang the King of the Fish anthem right into the cave. Here it goes. King of the Fish, bum, bum, King of the Fish, bum, bum, King of the Fish, King of the Fish, King of the Fish, bum, bum, King of the Fish, bum, bum, King of the Fish, bum, bum, King of the Fish, King of the Fish, King of the Fish, bum, bum. And that did the trick, because in just a few seconds, guess who appeared? Yes, the King of the Fish himself. But he wasn't pleased, as you can see. "Who dares disturb the slumber of the King of the Fish in these tranquil waters?" And then he saw the dolphins. "What is it, dolphins?" he said, because remember, he was very kind. "Oh, begging your pardon, your majesty," said one of them, putting his flippers up to salute. And they told the King of the Fish the whole story about how Shaun the Shark had come in to terrorize everybody and frighten them out of their gills, and how Angelfish had got lost, and that Shaun the Shark was going to take Angelfish home for supper. "This cannot be done," said the King of the Fish. "Dolphins, take me quickly back to Fish Kingdom and where Shaun the Shark is." Well, they were so excited. "Thank you, Your Majesty, thank you." They turned around and they swam as fast as they could, wishing through the ocean with the King of the Fish fast on their tails. Anyway, as you can see, the dolphins arrived at the spot, followed quickly by King of the Fish. But the King of the Fish was swimming so quickly, watch what happens. Ah! He lost his crown. But the King of the Fish didn't worry about that. He thought, if I go back for my crown, I'm going to be late. And the angelfish is more important than even my crown. When they got there, the King of the Fish, without the crown, said, "Tell me what is going on in the Fish Kingdom. Who is troubling the tranquility of these still waters?" Well, out from behind a rock, guess who appeared? Yes, it was Shaun the Shark, still talking to Angel. And Shaun the Shark said, "Hello, King of the Fish." King of the Fish said, "Shaun, be gone. Leave these waters immediately and leave little angelfish alone." Now, I don't know about you, but if I were Shaun the Shark, I would have said, "I'm sorry, Your Majesty," and I would have swum off. But not Shaun the Shark. He was rude, he was nasty, and he wasn't particularly pleasant. He looked at the King of the Fish straight in the eyes and said, "Well now, King of the Fish, I'm not scared of you." Can you imagine speaking to the King of the Fish like that? And it got worse. He said, "I'm not moving anywhere. And what are you going to do about it? I, chomping his teeth. Well, if that wasn't bad enough, the King of the Fish thought that Shaun deserved a lesson. And the King of the Fish said, "You will leave, Shaun. You will leave immediately." Shaun the Shark rubbed his flippers, or rather his fins, together, because the dolphins were rubbing their flippers in excitement and fear. And Shaun said, "Well now, King, what you gonna do about it? Make me leave." The King of the Fish remained calm and simply said, "Wally the Whale, I summon you." And Wally the Whale came. Then he said, "Fernandez, I summon you." And Fernandez came. And finally, he called to the stingray, "Sting, come quickly, I summon you." And Sting came as well. Before you could flip your gills, all of the fish in Fish Kingdom came along. You see, children, sometimes you need a few others to give you that bit of confidence to get you on the road. And there you are. Other fish came from all over the place, looking very, very fierce. And all of a sudden, the King of the Fish said, "Shaun, I'm giving you one more chance." And Shaun looked around, and as most bullies, started getting a bit frightened when the heat was on, or rather when it got cooler because it was in the ocean. And all the fish came along and started shouting at Shaun the Shark, "Get out of here now before we all come and chomp you." Well, you can see how terrified Shaun the Shark was, and they got so angry they shook themselves. And finally Shaun looked around and thought, this is getting a bit difficult, and as all bullies do in the end, ran for his life. And he said, "Ah, you nasty fish, and King of the Fish, especially you." And with a quick chomp of his teeth, he swam away, calling out, "Don't think that's the last of me. I'll be back. I'll come back. See if I don't. And then I'll not only have that angel fishy for my supper, but I'll have a whole lot of you as well." "Be gone, be gone," said the King of the Fish. And he was. Well, there was such excitement. All the fish swam away and everybody was cheering and happy. Apart from Angel. King of the Fish saw Angel, who had swum up to him, and Angel was going, "What's the matter, Angel?" said the King of the Fish. And Angel said, "I'm sorry, Your Majesty," looking up to the king, "but it's all very well for everybody here. You've got rid of that nasty shark, but what about me? I'm still lost and I want to go home. There's no place like home. The king of the fish understood and said, just a minute, Angel. Don't panic. I have an idea. And at that point, Angel gave a little wiggle, thinking, this is exciting. I'm sure the king of the fish will help. The king of the fish took one of his gills and called, Fernandez, I summon you. And Fernandez, the giant sea turtle from Spain, came swimming in. Yes, your majesty, how can I help you? And the king of the fish said, do you think you could take Angel Fish back home? Of course I can, your majesty. Anything to help the king of the fish, your majesty. And then Fernandez said, and guess what, your majesty? Not only can I take Angel home, but look what I found. I swam around and ding, I found your crown. Well done. Thank you, Fernandez, said the king of the fish. Here you are, your majesty. And Fernandez threw the crown into the ocean and it landed right on the king of the fish's head. The king of the fish looked up and was very proud of his crown and said, thank you very much. Now go on, Angel, jump onto Fernandez's back. And that's exactly what she did. She swam backwards, sat on his back, and Fernandez said, hold tight. So she went, gripped on tightly. And he said, we're off. Bye-bye, king of the fish. Goodbye. Go with full speed and in good health, said king of the fish. And thank you, Fernandez, for all your sterling, wonderful help. That's a pleasure, your majesty. Let's go. And all of a sudden, whoosh, Fernandez left. Well, as you can see, the whole of Fish Kingdom was so happy and everybody got on with each other once again and felt safe. Wally the whale came along to make sure everybody was okay. And then Sting came in. And of course, our lovely giant turtle, when he had taken the fish back. And they all waited to say a big thank you to, here he is, the king of the fish. Well done, everybody. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, said the king of the fish. And they all cheered him. Hooray for the king of the fish! Hooray for the king of the fish! And hooray to all of you for coming to watch Storytime with Zayda, because that's the end. I hope you enjoyed it. See if you can remember the story and see if you can remember some of the messages, like not speaking to strangers, whether they're sharks or people, and never ever going for a free ride on a fish's fin or in any other means of transport. So, see if you can blow me away back to Storyland. Got to try and think of another story for you, and I'll blow you away. Until the next time, keep thinking stories. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye. Goodbye.